Hello, welcome back to Literary Gladiators. My name's Maddie and Maddie Lasser here on YouTube. Welcome. I'm here today with my Roundtable Read review of Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard, which, can we appreciate the red? I was going for the theme, you know? Also, new location, who this? Anyways, now that that's over with, now that we've addressed that, let's get into the review. So, I had previously read the Red Queen series last year sometime, I want to say. So listening to it again, I listened to audiobooks both times. I listened to it again, and after finishing the first one, I was like, I gotta continue this story. I can't just leave it here, even though I kind of already know what's happening. You know, I already know like the ending per se, but it's just like a compelling story. It's a good story, fun, entertaining. So I was like, I'm just gotta continue. Just got to. So look at that, Victoria Aveyard, you got me. So it's kind of a story between these two peoples, Silverbloods and Redbloods. Silverbloods are seen as like the they are the royalty, like higher class, and then Redbloods, the Silverbloods, they have powers. So there's like nymphs who control water, there's fire starters who control fire, all the names kind of coincide with what their powers are. But then there's the Redbloods who are like just an ability. They don't have any abilities, they're just plain normal, So obviously they're seen as less than compared to these people who are ruling and they have powers, which it was really interesting just within this one power dynamic. Racism, ableism, classism, they're all explored. So we meet our main character, Mare Barrow, who actually turns out to be like the chosen one in this story. She is a red who has powers. She controls electricity. So we find out that Reds get sent to the Choke because there's this war going on, and Mare is trying to get out of that for her and her friend. She meets this political, or it's like a rebel group called the Red Guard, and she needs money to be able to give to them so that her and her friend Clorn can be smuggled away and saved from going to war. She doesn't end up making that happen. Unfortunately, her sister gets hurt and she's like kind of stuck in this even worse spot than before. She meets this person who she tries to pickpocket, and unbeknownst to her, he is the crown prince, Cal, and he kind of takes pity on her and gives her a job in the palace. So the next day she's taken to the palace, she doesn't know why, and she's given a job. And that's the first time that we find out that she has powers. And the king and queen obviously can't have a red who has powers just walking around showing off. So they pretend, they say that she is a long lost silver daughter who was raised by reds. Because that would just throw a wrench in their whole thing. The whole power struggle if reds have powers now. Then goes on, Mare has to pretend to be silver and navigate this political minefield inside and outside the palace, with the Red Guard being this rebel group trying to take down the Silvers, and then all the different power dynamics within the Silver Court. So it's like a political drama in that sense. Mare decides to end up helping the rebellion and kind of joins the Red Guard. Oh, I forgot to say, as a show of good faith, the king and queen also betroth her to their youngest son, Maven. So Cal, he's gonna be the king. Do good for her, obviously, can't have a red and a silver be married. But the younger prince, okay, yeah, go ahead, have him, it's okay. So Mary decides to help the Red Guard, while also, pretending to be silver and trying to keep her secrets and etc., etc. So at the end, there's a big betrayal. I won't say it, spoiler alert, and it kind of leaves you with a little bit of a cliffhanger. So that also always lends to wanting to read the next book when you're like, okay, so what's going on? What's going to happen now? That was smart of Victoria. The overall themes are definitely betrayal and trust, finding like your inner strength, and then like that political aspect where there's like different politics going on, like I said, in, out of the court, everywhere. There's also a love story going on, which that was my least favorite part of the first book, at least, because it was the least believable part of the story. Mostly because the love story is kind of between Mare and Cal, which they only interact like a few times. So it's like, how are you guys in love? Like, what's going on? I don't understand. You guys have only ever talked by yourself like 2 times, you know? Like, that's the part that is like very, you can YA, and you can tell. But there's also a little bit of a love story going on between Mara and Maven, which then also, spoiler alert or not, but that's where the betrayal comes from. Or that's a part of the betrayal. But it just seemed like it was kind of that love story between Cal and Mara setting up for the rest of the books. But in the first book, it seemed like it was like, what's going on? Rushed, weird, you know. I believe that's all I had to say about the story. Overall, I enjoyed it. It's compelling, you know, especially listening to it, because it's something that is entertaining enough that like it keeps my attention, but I'm still able to like go like do laundry, you know, like not have to focus on the story so much. But and obviously it's good enough that I had to continue the story. I would say that also the story gets not better, but it's like more, there's more dimensions that are explored in the later books that are enjoyable. So I did enjoy that about the later books as well. And I think that the first book sets those up very nicely with just like the history, like the first, you know, it's like the first layer of a cake, the good foundation, you know. I wanted to thank Literary Gladiators for having me for this roundtable read, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.